Hello, and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News Channel. I know the nuclear Armageddon of crypto is underway, but we'll talk about that in tonight's stream. But now we're actually going to talk about Casino Coin and why Hal Finney is Satoshi Nakamoto. So Casino Coin had some good news today. The wheel is in play, like they said on their Twitter, and Cameg, which is one of the biggest roulette wheel manufacturer in the world, has implemented Casino Coin in their wheels. So they said Cameg is the first live casino equipment manufacturer in the world to be adding game results to blockchain in real time. So you can see Cameg roulette wheels adding results to blockchain for data. That is a big step for Casino Coin. Now, a CSC actually went up to about 13 Satoshi, I believe, on Saturday when I last streamed. Now it's down at 11. So I do see some, even though it's been implemented, this is really great news. It might actually retrace, and I would probably look at buying Casino Coin in the single digit Satoshi range. Because, like everyone buys the rumor and sells the news. I think the rumor was actually what sent Casino Coin from basically 3 Satoshi to 13. And now that the news is actually out, even though it's extremely good news, the price is probably going to retrace a little bit. So I'm looking to buy Casino Coin probably in the single digit Satoshi range. Now, I do believe because Cameg has adopted them, it has a good future in front of it. So I'm not really worried. Even if I buy in like half now at 11, I don't think I'll lose money in the long run. I think I will actually make quite a bit of money in the long run because Cameg has adopted them, and they could be the first of many. They are one of the biggest roulette manufacturers in the world, so they probably have tie-ins to a lot of casinos. In fact, I know they have a lot of tie-ins to a lot of casinos, which could lead to a lot more adoption of Casino Coin. And obviously, we have proof of usage right here, and that is more than I can say for most projects. So Casino Coin is getting its use case in the primary industry it's targeting. It's a great start, and I actually believe in it now for the future. Didn't really believe in the coin for a long time, but now I actually believe in the coin because they actually have a use case, and it's got something going for it. The other thing I want to discuss is why this guy, Hal Finney, is Satoshi Nakamoto. Now, everyone knows that Hal Finney is the first person to actually get a transaction from Satoshi Nakamoto, but I'm going to say that why that is the strongest piece of evidence you can actually find of any of the claimants or people who think it's Satoshi Nakamoto, whether it's the Ripple guys, whether it's David Kleinman or Craig Wright or any of those guys, but he has the strongest claim. Unfortunately, we can't ask him because he's not with us anymore, which is very, very sad. If he was with us, we could find out if he was Satoshi or not. So he is the first person to actually receive a transaction from Satoshi Nakamoto, and I think that is very, very likely to make him Satoshi. You know why? Because think about it. If you what's the first thing you do after you finish like creating a big project like science experiment, or not mean like science project, or you make a product in electronics? What's the first thing you do? You test it out to see if the basics work, and you test it out yourself to see if the basics work. And what's the first thing you would test out in Bitcoin? After you create the protocol and the ecosystem, you would test if transactions actually work. So what would you do? You already have a wallet, so you would create another wallet, send money from your first wallet to the wallet that you just created, which would actually be Hal Finney's wallet, and then you would make sure that transaction actually worked. So I imagine that Hal Finney had a Satoshi Nakamoto wallet after he finished the protocol and everything, and he wanted to test how it works. So basically, he just created a second wallet and sent Bitcoin from his first wallet to his second wallet. So in fact, both the recipient wallet, which we know is Hal Finney, and the Satoshi Nakamoto wallet is also Hal Finney. If it's not Hal Finney, it has to be someone very close to Hal Finney, because you wouldn't send Bitcoin to someone you don't really know who it is and ask them if they received the transaction. That doesn't make sense, because Bitcoin, since at that point it's anonymous, if you sent it to, well, at that point, I guess like not that many wallets existed. So you would actually have to get a friend to create a wallet, or a close associate to create a wallet, and send money to that Bitcoin to that wallet. Now, I know the two people that are often mentioned with Hal Finney are Dorian Nakamoto and Nick Szabo. Nick Szabo has actually denied being Satoshi Nakamoto, but those would be I think Dorian also has denied being Satoshi Nakamoto. Now, those two would actually be, because Dorian lived like, I think 2 blocks down from Finney. I don't really know where Szabo lived. But those two could have been not a Satoshi because they could have created the system and then asked Hal Finney to test. But it would, because he's the first person to receive a transaction from Satoshi Nakamoto, he is either Satoshi Nakamoto himself, which is extremely likely, or B, a very close associate with Satoshi Nakamoto. I don't think it's the Ripple guys because I'm thinking that if they did it, they would have they would have tested it among themselves, and Hal Finney would not have actually been the first person to actually receive a transaction from the actual Satoshi wallet. And since we don't actually know who the Satoshi is, and he's the first person to receive a transaction, I'm guessing he was just testing the system himself. Because if I created something like Bitcoin, or if I created any kind of project, the first thing I would do before bringing it to a fair or showing it to my friends is I would actually make sure that the basic premises of this thing actually worked. And if I had created Bitcoin, I would test to see if a transaction actually worked. So I'm thinking that first transaction to Hal Finney's wallet was just him sending money from one of his wallets to another one to make sure that system worked before he showed anyone else. So that's why I think Hal Finney is Satoshi Nakamoto. It is by far the best definite proof that anyone can actually claim to have. Because we know, like, if it was like Arthur Britto or David Schwartz, I bet they would have probably sent like transactions within themselves. I'm not really sure if Finney was close with David Schwartz or Arthur Britto. I know that both Schwartz and Finney did work at the NSA. I don't know if they worked at the same time. And Hal Finney was already ex-NSA when this actually happened in 2009, I believe. So it really makes sense that he was just testing it himself, the first transaction. Like if I made Bitcoin, I would just make a second wallet to just make sure the transaction actually worked myself before I showed anyone. And that's probably what he was doing. So that's why I think he is by far the most likely candidate, not CSW, because he has like no evidence. Not David Kleinman, he's already dead and we can't really ask him anyways. And not the Ripple guys that are actually Satoshi Nakamoto. So that is the news for today. Let me know what you think, like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.